Hello, this is Brian Rowe with Mythic MTG Tech doing an opening here. We're opening up the new From the Vault, Annihilation. As you can see, it comes in this wonderful white packaging. Amazing stuff. The white box that it comes in is actually just to protect the packaging that they designed for it. This is very nice packaging. From the Vault Annihilation there. On the back, we've got a preview of all the cards. I'm not going to worry about this too much because we're going through each card individually. It has kind of a window to show you some of the cards. So we've got the Wrath of God, the Rolling Earthquake, and Living Death there on the front. This box is designed so you don't have to destroy the box when you open it up. Cards just slide out. Piece of plastic on here to keep it in place. Each of the From the Vaults come with their own die. This one has From the Vault Annihilation symbol there. Looks like a Death Star or a planet blowing up. Besides the cards, we've got a sheet that explains the From the Vaults here. Talking about this one in particular. It's got the new Wrath of God artwork on there, which is very nice. And then on the other side, there's a little bit about the history of each of the cards. Some of these are actually really well done. The Smokestacks one definitely talks about stacks in Vintage, and Armageddon talks about how people really hate to have lands destroyed. The history on this is very, very nice. Back here, and let's get to the actual cards. So we've got three different packs here. I'm going to leave the Wrath of God one for the last, although I'm not sure what's actually the ordering on each of these. So let's go with the Living Death one. Very nice. In this one we've got Living Death, Martial Coup, Armageddon, Burning of Xinye, not sure exactly how to pronounce that. Ooh, and my favorite card in the whole set, Cataclysm. Beautiful new artwork, very, very tournament playable card as a one-of in Death and Taxes, and just a powerhouse in EDH. We're going to come back and talk about each of the cards one by one after the opening is done. Let's see. Oh, Rolling Earthquake. That looks very, very nice. Smokestacks. Very excited about this one. I'm going to build stacks in Vintage, see how it works. Terminus. Incredible card. Upheaval. Ooh, drop the Upheaval there. Only card in this that is banned in EDH. And then Virtue's Ruin. Very nice card. Wrath of God. Child of Alara. Decree of Annihilation. Firespout, and Fracturing Gust. Okay. Let's go through these one by one here. There we go. Fracturing Gust is a very nice card, especially because it is instant speed. Destroy all artifacts and enchantments, and you gain 2 life for each destroyed in this way. I've seen this see a lot of play in EDH. Very solid EDH card. Nice artwork on it there. Firespout. Firespout deals 3 damage to each creature without flying if red was spent. If green was spent, it's to each one with flying. Very, very nice sideboard card in Modern. I definitely like this card a lot, although Anger of the Gods has kind of supplanted it because of the exile effect on it. I did not guess this card correctly. This was the promo artwork that they put out. Seeing it in person, I see a lot more of the red and the green reflected in it than the original artwork really showed. Decree of Annihilation, 10 casting costs, exile all artifacts, creatures, and lands from the battlefield. all cards from the graveyards, and all cards from all lands. You can cycle it to destroy all lands. So this has that Armageddon type effect to it. It sees a little bit of play in EDH. I'm not a fan of it because the casting cost is just so high. It definitely fits the theme of the set in that destroy all category. Child of Alara here is one of the cards I was most excited about. This is a super popular EDH commander. I often see people lock a whole table out with Child of Alara. The foiling looks really nice on this. This is going to be very popular in the long term with EDH players. Wrath of God with new artwork on it. It's got to be one of the most printed cards out there. I really like this particular artwork, although it is not my favorite. The Portal artwork is definitely my favorite, kind of the cartoonish style that they did way back. But very well done. This is one of the cards that I'm more excited about, but many people are not. Just because it's a wonderful sideboard card in Legacy, it may not be. It is definitely Legacy playable, though. Great for destroying Death and Taxes decks. Upheaval is a huge cube favorite. Great card. Return all permanents to owner's hands. Doesn't sound like much to people that don't play kind of that mid-rangey cube format. But you get to tap all your lands for mana, maybe even some artifacts that produce mana, and then throw out a bunch of permanents, and your opponent is stuck with one land per turn trying to rebuild their board state. This card's a house. Terminus. This is probably in the top 3 board wipes ever printed. May even be number 1 or number 2. I'm looking at doing a video on board wipes generally. This often costs 1 mana. With Brainstorm to put it back on top of your deck, or Sensei's Divining Top to draw it during your opponent's turn, or to keep moving it to the second one down when you don't need to draw it, the card is incredibly powerful. I definitely like the artwork on it. They went with the original artwork. It looks so much better in foil than it does in non-foil. Really nice addition. Smokestacks. This is one of the meanest cards out there. I've seen this shut down entire tables for EDH, and it is one of the pillars of vintage in a workshop deck. The card, you can stack the triggers in the right order so that you don't sack anything the first turn, but your opponent does on their turn. After that, you're going to be sacking 1 less permanent than your opponent, and if it gets to where you've got too many counters on there, you sack this as one of the permanents. Very, very powerful control card. Really happy to see a foil of this. Rolling Earthquake. This is one of the 2 most expensive cards in here, although it doesn't really see any tournament play, so it's going to drop to almost nothing in value. Cube players are going to want this because this is a beautiful foil and it will look great in a cube. Outside of that, though, EDH players may start to pick this up as an alternative way to board wipe in red. I'm happy to see the Portal 3 Kingdom cards in here, but they're really not long-term investments unless they're playable in Legacy. This is my pick for the best card out of the set. Cataclysm is a powerhouse. It pretty much hits everything. Each player chooses from among their permanents. He or she controls an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, a land, and then sacrifices the rest. Notice Planeswalkers is not on that list. Planeswalkers are going away. It's one of the few earlier cards that destroys Planeswalkers because of the way it was written. Very, very nice card. Very cool new artwork. Super happy about this foil. This is really Wildfire reprinted. Burning of Xinye. It has minor functional difference because you destroy things instead of sacrifice them. Very, very powerful card. This will see a lot of play in people's cubes. Cube players will be picking this up. I see it as much stronger than the Rolling Earthquake. I've seen cubes without the Earthquake, but most of them really want a Burning, especially if they've got an artifact deck that works really well to get this out a few turns early. Armageddon's got to be one of the most hated cards in all of Magic. It's up there with Hand Destruction. Nobody likes not being able to cast their spells. This card is a house. It destroys people in EDH. It is even slightly playable in Legacy. It shuts down decks like Jund or other fair decks. And if you've got an Aether Violet, you can continue to put out creatures after destroying all lands. Beautiful new artwork on this also. Martial Coup is a very popular EDH board wipe because it leaves you with some 1/1 white soldiers. I like this card a lot. Casting cost on it's a little bit too high to be competitive, but it's a great casual EDH card. Got Living Death here at last. This is one of the cards that I played a lot in tournaments. It was a powerhouse in Standard. There were lots of ways to get cards into your graveyard, and you were able to sacrifice all of your creatures using a creature with a sack effect. I believe it was Plague Bearer that I was using to fill up your graveyard right before basically wrathing your opponent and casting all the creatures from your graveyard. This is just incredible. That comes into play effects from the graveyard creatures all end up triggering. Huge swing card. I'm surprised this doesn't see more play in EDH. It is a wonderfully powerful card in EDH also. A few people have asked me what price I would pay for it. I was fortunate enough to pick one of these up at retail over at Card Kingdom, and then one more at a few dollars over retail, but not much, at Raygun Lounge. I'm thinking about what to do with the second one. I may give it away in a giveaway here on the channel, so watch for that. I would not pay right now more than $40 for one. Long term, it probably has a value up around $70 to $150, especially if one of these cards takes off in popularity. Cataclysm is the card that I see as having the most growth long term. But from a financial perspective, the set is really missing a powerhouse card that will just drive the value up quickly. Realm had several different cards, and From the Vault 20 obviously had Jace. So I don't see this as a big investment. It's just a bunch of cool cards you get to play with now, and a real boon to people who play EDH and who play Cube. So thank you. This has been Brian Rowe with Mythic MTG Tech, looking at the From the Vault Annihilation, a wonderful little set that Wizards has just put out.